baseball from Kansas City, and that sounds nice. After an 11-day road trip, the Royals are home for 11 days and begin with the best team in the National League, the Chicago Cubs. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. It's been kind of an up and down season for the Royals offense this year. Right now we're experiencing one of the ups, but the most steadiest player since opening day has been Whit Merrifield.
Oh, man. He's more than two-hit, multi-hit Whit. He's hit all the time Whit. It's amazing how hot he can be off of lefties or righties. But timing has it just like it is with his hitting streak. It's working well. Wow, he's hitting .377 off of left-handed starters this year. And who do the Cubs have? 3 left-handers to start this series. Wow, what a beautiful day it is for Whitley. Hope we can get to keep it going.
And the Royals will need offense against the Cubs. With their best record in the league, they have the best offense in the National League. To hit for the Royals and the Cubs. Well, what drives the Cubs? They've got a good pitching staff. They have a really good offense and an Archaea drive to success. When we talk about the Cubs and where they lead in the National League, take your pick. It's several categories, but the most important one, they lead their league in runs scored.
That's right. That's the name of the game. But when you're as well balanced as Joe Maddon's offensive attack of the Cubs, wow, they are balanced from left-handers to right-handers, young talent mixed in with a few veteran talent. It's amazing what these guys could do this year, and they've even missed Bryant twice this year, the former MVP. First, second, first. The work's going to be cut out. Let's see if our young hurlers for the Royals can stay under their bats and keep them down.
And the young hurler for the Royals tonight will be Jacob Junis, making his first start against the Cubs against Cole Hamels, new to the Chicago Cubs. Joel and Monty are coming up next.
Chicago, the other Chicago, the Southsiders beating the White Sox on the road trip as he is set now to take on the Northsiders at Kauffman Stadium. Welcome back to the K. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Okay, you got two pitchers here. Junis, who had gone 10 straight without a win, gets that W. Cole Hamels, who got beat around by the Royals in Texas, but has been dominant here at the K, including in June. How about the pitching matchup? Yeah,
I like the matchup, and it's a matchup of guys that both are susceptible to the home run ball. I think for Jacob Junis, a real key for him is going to be his fastball. If he will keep that fastball in the lower part of the strike zone, it will make his slider that much better. That's a pitch he's going to rely on. It's a pitch that he has to have success with if he's going to be successful, because he's going to go to his slider in a lot of very big situations. So hopefully Jacob Junis is able to be in command out there tonight. And Cole Hamels, here's a guy that's never given up a run in this ballpark. He gives up some fly balls, gives up some home runs, but I think he likes pitching here because it's such a spacious outfield. He keeps the ball in the ballpark. So in other words, he pitches to the ballpark very effectively.
And that was the case June 19th when he went 7 innings, 1 run, but it was unearned. Alex Gordon, 10-game road trip. He hit .361. Back after this.
Gets back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. The Royals are home in front of a big crowd tonight after 10 games on the road, and welcome Ben Zobrist and the Chicago Cubs, who have the best record in the National League. The Royals have won 5 of their last 7 here at Kauffman Stadium. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. fans. Royals will play 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Cardinals, and 4 against the Blue Jays on this homestand. Joe Maddon is in his 4th year as Cubs manager. National League Manager of the Year in 2015. And his team's having another good year. Lowe's whole team together. Maybe you could have predicted 2 teams on that list, the Cubs and the Brewers, but the Phillies and the Braves are still hanging in there amongst the best.
Who would have thunk it? Absolutely no one, and the brightest minds in the games would have never told you that.
Our GMC lineup for the Cubs, and they're among the league leaders in several offensive categories, and lately they've taken their big first baseman Anthony Rizzo and inserted him as their leadoff man, and that has paid off. Albert Almora Jr. is the number 9 hitter, but he's a good number 9 hitter. He's hitting over 300. So a big thrill for Jacob Junis, who grew up in Illinois following the Cubs, and he'll get to face the Cubs for the first time tonight. What's his key, Hud?
Well, Junis is going to have to command the fastball better, because his last 10 starts, the opponents have really hit him hard, not to mention the home runs he's given up on that pitch. So if he can just be a little bit more careful with his spot, where he, especially in the first inning, I think he'll be okay, because he's got a great slider to complement it. Forward around the horn, Royals defense. We'll see Rosie Herrera back out there in right field. He had made his first Royals start there. And how about Drew Butera getting his start at first base? In his 9 seasons with 4 different teams, he's played first base 17 times. No problem. He just says it's a game of catch.
This will be the first time the Royals have faced the Cubs since 2015, and that was a series in Chicago. Cubs ended up taking 2 out of 3. And in the all-time series, the Cubs are 12-9 against the Royals. So slugging first baseman Anthony Rizzo leading off. Joe Maddon, who is never afraid to experiment both offensively and defensively, puts Rizzo in there with his on-base percentage and his power, so he's a handful with the very first pitch of the game. And Junis throws a fastball for a strike. .266 overall. But since moving into the leadoff spot almost a month ago, his average is .380. Up and away.
Pretty good spot. That's right where you want to put it on him. He crowds the dish. He wants that ball in the worst way, and he could turn on any fastball. He's dangerous.
There's the slider, and he got a bad swing at it. 1-2. It was July 13th when Rizzo was moved to the leadoff spot, and he has a .468 on base percentage. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Patient, you know, very selective, but what's impressive too, just 57 strikeouts. He's got pride.
Alex comes sprinting in and makes a sliding play. So Junis gets a good play to begin the game. 1 down.
Batting second, the second baseman, number 18, Ben Zobrist.
And now it's starting to hit some Royals fans. Well, with Gerard Dyson, with Lorenzo Cain, And their return to Kauffman Stadium is a little more immediate. And so maybe it didn't register right away with some Royals fans, but he got a standing ovation. And he's about as popular a Royal that I can remember, who only played here for 2.5 months.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a little bit emotional. But you know what, though? The fans here, their hearts are so big. And Joel had a chance to talk to him on the Price Chopper Royals Live pregame show. It's really fresh. Look at Junis so far. He's even mixing in a changeup. He's hitting his spots with that fastball in the first inning, as he knows that this is one of the most balanced, powerful lineups he'll ever face. With Schwarber, the DH, man, this team was built for the American League.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball got him looking.
Junis' focus is outstanding so far in 11 pitches. He has been on it. And as much as I don't want to say it, Zobrist, you got to go. That ball was painted. Outstanding location.
He's facing the 2 teams from his home state in back-to-back starts. Last time out was in Chicago against the White Sox, and got his first win in a long time. And now Hayward, who's really turned his Cubs career around. He's on with 2 outs. Wednesday on the south side of Chicago, Junis' first pitch was a home run. His next pitch was a double, and then he retired 13 of the next 15. The Royals supported him with 10 runs, and that snapped a streak of 10 consecutive starts without a win. And now Javier Baez, and he's getting the chant on the road.
Well, he's extremely talented. There's not a whole lot he can't do.
He leads the National League with those 86 RBIs. And he's also among the league leaders in stolen bases. And he likes to swing. And that does not speak to his defense.
Yep. I will highlight him when we get to their defense next half inning. He's a tremendous athlete with exceptional skills you just don't see all the time out of young players. Very confident, but the things that I found out about him today through his coaching staff made him even more impressive.
Good slider, snap throw down to first, and Hayward gets back.
Hayward looked a little bit jumpy over there. Looked like he wanted to try to steal the base. You can see him, he had a little extra step when he goes, oh, I know all about Salvador Perez's arm. Drew, good job with the little turnaround snap tag. You know, Salvador Perez has a great arm. Obviously, he has the best throwing percentage in the world as far as throwing runners out, 50%. And he'll throw to any base. He is really focused on helping his team win, number one, but he wants the goal back.
And a good Junis slider strikes out Baez, so Junis ends up striking out 2 in a scoreless first inning. Royals will face Cole Hamels tonight when we come back. here's the Royals batting order presented by GMC, and the Royals are facing a tough lefty tonight. So Brett Phillips is on the bench. Whit Merrifield's in center field. Lucas Duda and Ryan O'Hearn are not in the lineup. So Drew Butera is at first, and Jorge Bonifacio is the designated hitter. And this will be the first time the Royals see Cole Hamels in a Cubs uniform, but they've seen him twice already with the Rangers.
Yeah, that's good. Heck, more familiarity, the better. Especially against a champion lefty like this guy. Now, the Royals want to beat him. They're going to have to really focus, but hit that fastball. The opponents are hitting 354 off that. That's highest average off the fastball in the major leagues. His changeup is filthy. You want to spit on that one if you can.
To Almora in center field. One away.
Defensively, the Cubs, they're about middle of the pack as far as errors made out of 30 teams, but they're plus 40 this year in defensive runs saved. That's fourth best. They got some great athletes. Hayward's one of them, a four-time Gold Glover. And you want to talk about Baez. He's playing third tonight, but this kid is extremely talented. Might be an MVP, but he could play anywhere in that infield. He could play outfield. He could be the PA announcer if they let him. The guy just has extreme skills, great hands, and there's Zobrist playing second base tonight.
Fastball strike to Alex Gordon, who hit 361 on the road trip, with most of those games batting second. He also drove in 8. 1 ball, 1 strike. Our Kubota power stats look specifically at the switch to the number 2 spot. 344 average and a 1,000 slugging percentage. 1 and 2, and when you were visiting with Ned Yost before the game tonight, we were saying, you know, traditionally this would be a good spot for Alex Gordon batting second, but with all the shifts, there really is no traditional number 2 guy, meaning that, you know, they just shoot for that hole on the right side with a runner at first base.
No, but still, just the fact that you're mentioning those high numbers after Alex's name is a beautiful thing. He's making some good adjustments. He's being patient. He's seeing more pitches. He's running the count full. We're seeing him go to left field, right field, center field. We've seen him turn on 97 and 98. And as a result, look at how they're playing him. Straight up. That's respect. Nice.
One on, one out.
Rocket Mortgage pitch breakdown for Hamels is he's extremely talented. I talked about him being a world champion. 4-seamer, changeup. Those are big pitches for him. All he needs really is those 2, but he likes to cut that ball in on righties. The sinker and curve, those are his pitches. He's going to mix them, but you just got to look at an area off of him. But remember, the fastball is the one. But it's tough, just like Junis did that top half of the inning. He threw Rizzo some fastballs that got him going a little bit. Then he dropped that slider on him and got him swinging. Baez the same way. They're all looking for number 1. So when you get that pitch, you just try not to miss it.
One and 1 on Salvi. He had a productive trip with 4 home runs, 8 driven in. Hamels has given him some trouble in the past, and that was a good pitch in on his hands. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hamels will be able to climb the ladder a little bit with that fastball. He's got some little extra giddy up. Got a nice little motivating factor playing for the Cubs. But he likes cutters in on righties, but mainly lately, his last start, he threw a lot more changeups to righties. Good idea by Salvi.
Hamels usually is easy to run on, and the Royals have been running wild since the All-Star break. 2 balls, 2 strikes, so they should be able to continue that tonight. Royals have 17 stolen bases since the break. That's the most in baseball, and Hamels has given up the 3rd most stolen bases this year.
Takes his time coming home. You know, he's a first movement guy.
That's into left center field, and Almora, who's an excellent center fielder, he really closed in on that ground ball quickly. Alex was thinking about going first to third, but he will hold at second.
Yeah, nice idea by Alex. Initially, he thought he might be able to get to third base. Would have been a nice gamble, but there's no need. He's already in scoring position. Salvi waited for a fastball and got it.
Hunter Dozier will bat cleanup tonight. It's the 4th time this season that he's batted 4th for Ned Yost.
Just like Alex Gordon hitting second, Hunter Dozier saw his name in the 4-hole. That got him excited. He was elevated to a premium spot in the lineup. That does a lot for you. See if he can answer. Shorten up the swing, knock a run in or 2.
No balls, 2 strikes. Hunter was not in the starting lineup yesterday, but he ended up with a pinch hit single in the 8th inning. Also got his first major league stolen base and stretched his career high hitting streak to 6. Laid off that one. 1-2.
You're behind in the count and you're a number 4 hitter. They're going to be paid a little extra attention because you're in that slot, but he's going to try to make him chase now. And Hunter wants to just loosen up a little bit and react. Put the big home run swing away, find a hole. This count.
That's back to the middle, but not hit very hard. Russell to Zobrist, over to Rizzo just in time for a 6-4-3 inning double play. Ned Yost didn't take very long for him to realize that Dozier was out at first, and with that, the inning is over. Seasons, the Royals have had 2 championship rosters, and now you can wear them both. T-shirt Tuesday tomorrow before the Royals take on the Cubs. And the first 10,000 fans through the gates receive this shirt with the 2 rosters. Compliments of Sprint. Tickets are available at Royals.com.
Sweet. Love to have one.
Well, you'll probably get one.
I'm hoping. I don't want to have to beg, but they look good.
Kyle Schwarber is the designated hitter. No balls, 2 strikes. He has a 20 home run season going. That gives him back-to-back 20 home run seasons. The catcher turned outfielder.
Extremely good hitter. Real nice, short, powerful swing.
Slider pulled on the ground to the right side. Escobar with the overshift. He doesn't make that throw very often. He will make the 360 turn and throw, but usually it's not from shallow right field.
Nope, he had to alter it a little bit, had to get rid of it a little bit sooner. But still, we've seen him make this play a lot of times, but not on that side of the diamond. But gotta get rid of it. When you're turning counterclockwise like that, you got to make sure that you get that throw out a little bit sooner up the line. He wears the gold. He can do that.
1 out to Wilson Contreras. Fastball for strike 1. And really, that's the key pitch for Junis. His fastball. He loves to get to the slider, and there's a good one there over the outside edge. But when you try and figure out what's the difference between Junis's first 10 starts and his last 10, if there's one number that really jumps off the page, it's opponent's batting average against his fastball. First 10 starts, 274 against the fastball. His last 10 starts and an ERA just under 7, 441 against the fastball.
Yep. And so far in this one, he's doing a great job of commanding it. He stayed out of the middle. And big league hitters, and Cal Eldred will tell you this. He's started and he's relieved. He threw every role in his career as a pitcher. Hitters don't miss in the middle.
That is a good swing. And now he's going to dig for 2 on Herrera, and he is out. I think the element of surprise was there. And Herrera didn't go after that ball like he assumed that Contreras was going to go for second, but it ended up still being a pretty short throw. And now Contreras thinks that he got around the tag at second base.
You know that these guys are very tricky when it comes to pulling one hand away and doing it with the other. He knew. He saw the play right in front of him. Now, did he get his left hand in there? I mean, let's see. He tried to pull it away from him, from the tag. Ooh, man, I don't know. But look at Eski's knee got a little wrench there. That slide, his ankle.
Cubs, after taking a long look at it, will not challenge, so it's a single. And Contreras is out 9-6.
First career outfield assist for Rosell Herrera. Congratulations, Rosie. That play, he was right in front of you, and you made a perfect throw and nailed him.
Ian Happ takes a changeup down and away. Now, we were talking about Junis's fastball, and while the league is hitting with a much higher average over his last 10, I don't think he's lost his fastball. I'll bet the league has just figured out how good his slider is, and they're saying, you get a fastball, you better swing in it, because if you got to swing at his slider, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I think we've seen teams a lot more aggressive with him earlier in the count.
That's another point. Great point, because they've all seen his slider. They've all watched him. The Cubs, they're all well aware of what Junis has. But until you step in that batter's box and you take a look at it, there's his pitches, and there's what you're talking about, his slider. Opponent's 151.
Right down the middle, 3-1.
Yeah, Pap said, hey, look, looked a little off to me. And these hitters, believe me, they know what's off the plate and what's not.
Three balls, 2 strikes.
Extremely talented switch hitter. He's got pop from both sides of the plate. He's young and going to be in the league a long time. Royals got him with a slight pull.
Got him looking. So Junis has struck out 3, and with some help from his outfield defense, he has 2 scoreless innings.
Pap, guess what? You got to go.
No score, bottom of the second. We've been talking about the Cubs and their offense and their National League ranks. For the Royals, our Toyota League leaders, here's where they rank over the last 9 games. 4th most runs scored during that span. Tied for the 5th most home runs. Most stolen bases. And within that, Rosell Herrera. These are his numbers over the last 8. Up the right field line and back into the first row.
This is Rosie's time to shine. This is his time in his baseball career that he wants to be on time right now. This is it. He's getting the opportunity of a lifetime. He's dreamed about this. You could tell by the way he took the field the very first game as a Royal into right field. He shot out of that dugout like a cannon and he ran off that field. This is just this kid. You could just tell by looking at him. He's making the most of it. And what that does to see a player like that fresh, it energizes the other guys.
Now he's got Mondesi wanting to race him onto the field.
That's right. There's a hole there.
So he adds to those numbers, and the Royals have their leadoff man on in the bottom of the second. Let's go down to the Royals dugout, and here's Joel.
Well, the reception, Ryan, that Ben Zobrist got in the visiting dugout just from the media alone was pretty similar, minus the clapping that the fans gave him, because as we know, Ben Zobrist loved by all. And I asked Ben about returning here, and he said, I love this place. It has a special place in my heart and my family's heart. You'll remember that his wife Juliana was very pregnant, and They waited, and the World Series came, and then the parade, and then they went back home to Nashville and gave birth to a girl that they named Blaze Royal Zobrist. They gave the middle name to her of Royal. Their time here meant that much. So this is, he said, a homecoming for the family. They're hoping to get around, see the sights, maybe see their old place. But he also said that it's a homecoming for him because he grew up in this area for a part of his life, went to games here as a kid. As for that 2015 team, he described his Royals group back then as relentless with an attitude.
Jeez. There's Baez defense. As we were saying,
well, told you he's extremely talented, and this is routine for him. Joe Madden can put him at shortstop, at second base, at third base. They can put the gear on him. It wouldn't matter. He's a big-time player with extreme skills. Showed it right there.
so Hamels appreciates that. Royals were less than a foot away from first and third, nobody out. And now runner at second, one away, and ball one to Mondesi.
Well, just quickly back to Joel's point about Zobrist. He has 3 kids. I had a chance to talk to him, 3 of them now, and he has 2 championship rings. He needs 1 more. I brought that up to him, and he goes, I never thought of that. Maybe this will be the year again. Because they're all going to want the ring someday. And he said, well, we all know who's going to get the KC ring. His little Royal.
He was popular immediately, and of course he came at the right time. The Royals were dominating the Central Division. He was one of the premier available position players. No swing. He played well right away, had some big games in the playoffs, and for a guy that was here for fewer than 3 months, and the Royals did win a World Series. I mean, he's got to be one of the most popular fewer than 3 months players in Royals history. Good off speed from Hamels. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I would agree. Of course, I've only been here for 7 years, but these memories we'll never forget.
He went to the World Series with Joe Madden in Tampa Bay when they lost to Cole Hamels in the Phillies. And then several years go by and you're not going to the World Series, and you wonder, will I ever get back again? And as it turns out, he won championships in back-to-back years.
Yep,
wearing 2 long droughts.
That's right, and wearing royal blue, I'll say. He said, I asked him the difference between the rings. He said the Cub ring is a little bit bigger. It's a bigger ring, but the Royal ring has a nice class to it. It's really very classy.
Well, they had 30 years to think about what to do with the Royals ring. They had 108 years to figure out what to do with the Cubs ring.
That's right.
Heskey got fooled on a breaking ball down. Barrera's at second base with 2 down. Heskey had a rough trip. He hit just 160, but he had 2 hits yesterday.
Sometimes when Heskey struggles, he struggles because he thinks he can hit a homer. His value to the team is to shorten up the swing and find a hole and just do anything he can to knock the run in and realize who he is. And sometimes he'll get a hold of one and then he'll believe that he can hit him out. And then he guesses and over swings on certain pitches. Rosie's ready. They got some good arms out there, but you can't throw Rosie out with nobody holding him close.
Speaking of homers, however, and I think about the Royals and the Cubs, when we were there in 2015, May 29th, Alcides Escobar led off the series with a home run to left center field into the Wrigley Field bleachers, and the place erupted, and it was stunning to all of us. A huge roar on the field. And with the Royals having gone to the World Series the year before, we noticed a following on the road. There were "Let's Go Royals" chants away from Kauffman Stadium, a lot of blue on the road. But that right there was the most extreme example of the Royals fans following them away from Kauffman Stadium.
I'll never forget it. I had some Cubs fans tell me that they were there when that happened too, and they've never seen an opposing crowd take the Cub crowd out of the game. It was awesome. There you go.
Line, base hit left field. Happ's throw is up the line, and Escobar comes through with 2 outs. And the Royals take the first lead.
Yeah, that's the swing we're talking about. He heard us talking about it. Yeah, he'll never forget that moment either, Escobar. But this one right here, a 4-seam fastball, there it is. That's the Royals' key. Get that heater. You see a soft step, trusted his hands. That swing was not overswung. He stayed right on top of that ball. No chance you're going to get Rosie. He flies.
Here's Drew Butera with 2 down. Playing at first base tonight. Contreras down to first, but Escobar wasn't that far off the bag. 184 overall, but 333 over his last 5 games. He is homered against Cole Hamels. Drew has an inside the park home run. That was against Minnesota, and his outside the park home run, if you will, was against Cole Hamels. Up the right field line, Hayward, Gold Glove outfielder, makes the play. Inning over, but the Royals get a run with 2 down. Herrera leads off the inning with a single, and with 2 outs, Escobar gets him home. National League, but they have some key guys on the disabled list. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update, including former Rookie of the Year and MVP Chris Bryant out with left shoulder problems. This is the 2nd time he's been on the disabled list with that issue. And Yu Darvish is also out in the first year of a 6-year contract. Addison Russell, Albert Almora, and Anthony Rizzo are coming up in the third against Jacob Junis. He's given up a couple of singles. He has struck out 3. Got him with a slider. Four strikeouts for Junis.
Junis is on his game. Outstanding job of keeping it out of the middle of the plate. Now we talk about the fastball staying in the middle, but that slider, if it's not down and out of the zone, it can be hit too.
Slider for a strike to Almora. Not swinging the bat well at the moment, but he's still hitting .302 for the year. That is 9th in the National League. Back to the middle. Escobar charges, throws on the run, and plenty of time. 2 away.
Help us celebrate the Royals' first World Series title with the 1985 World Series Champions Replica Trophy giveaway presented by Old Dominion. First 15,000 fans through the gates Saturday will receive the replica trophy before watching the Royals host the Cardinals. What a perfect time. At 6:15, Royals.com to purchase your tickets. Visit Royals.com. Purchase those tickets and you can have one. First 15,000.
Slider strike to Anthony Rizzo, who hit a fly ball to shallow left to begin the game, and Alex Gordon made a sliding play. He reminds me, now their body type is totally different, but he reminds me of one-time Royal Matt Stairs. And the pitcher's winding up and he's winding up.
You know, and that really would be a compliment to Rizzo if he knew Matt Stairs and he saw his track record. Matt Stairs, he had a heck of a career. He could hit. He could really pinch it off the bench too.
Again, he goes the other way. He got more of this one. That is a 9-pitch 1-2-3 top of the third inning for Jacob Junis. C-Dot on our radio flagship station, 610 Sports, sitting with his family in the Buck O'Neill Legacy seat. He has used his platform to raise awareness and money for many important causes, including Rosebrook Center, the Neil Smith Third and Long Foundation, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and Noah's Bandage Project. Several months ago, CDOT and his friends raised money to take more than 500 kids from various schools to see the movie Black Panther. Not only as a reward for good grades, but to encourage kids to see themselves as future superheroes in our society. So good to see him down there with his family enjoying the game.
Ah, it is.
Good guy.
I get to go on with him, the midday show, once a week, and CDOT. Way to go. I had no idea you were blessed to have a good-looking family like that, but also doing all the things you do. Thank you, buddy.
Top of the order, second time through.
Touch it.
So far, everyone's standing and clapping down there. Witt was concerned. He knows how hard he hit that ball, and it was just beyond the protective netting. On the other side of the field, the grounds crew is behind the tarp. And it's a bit dark and ominous to the northwest, where the thunderstorms come from. Really no wind at the moment. Flags are just barely moving, so if it's out there, it's moving slowly. And it must be out there, otherwise Trevor Vance wouldn't have the grounds crew positioned behind the tarp.
Yep. Trevor Vance in his 34th season as head groundkeeper here. I've never seen him in just my short time of them missing ever. Whenever those guys are back there, that means rain's coming. He's good.
Shallow right, and Hayward makes the play.
And you know, in the Midwest, the weather, you know, it's always changing and always different. Teams out in California, they'll have pretty good weather, but generally you're going to find the most worked groundskeepers here in the Midwest. Detroit, here, St. Louis, you know, all over. Is Detroit Midwest?
Yes.
They got a lot of weather there.
Yeah. Grounds crews on the West Coast, I'll bet half the guys don't even know where the tarp is.
Exactly. I remember one time with the Angels, they rolled the tarp out and possums and all kinds of wild animals came running out of that thing. It was a sight. Yeah, and I said Trevor Vance is in his 34th year as a groundskeeper here, 34th season overall with the Royals, 24th as the senior director of groundskeeping and landscaping.
George Toma might have had something to say about that.
Yeah, and I meant to not offend anybody.
Zobrist to the middle and gets Alex. Royals run came in the second inning with 2 outs. Alcides Escobar drove in Rosel Herrera. This is the second time that Hamels has been traded at the deadline. It was a surprising trade in 2015. Everyone knew that he was probably going to be dealt from the Phillies, but I don't think anyone would have predicted that he was going to the Rangers, because they were not contending at the moment. But that sure paid off. Salvi got jammed, and Contreras makes the play. So Hamels matches Junis with a 9-pitch third inning.
T-Mobile. Defense. That's the name of the game when you're a pitcher and you need help saving your pitch count and also saving the runs. There you go. Alex Gordon, Jose Herrera. That's right, making a difference.
And Escobar and Herrera have made a difference on offense, with Herrera scoring on Escobar's 2-out RBI single. Jacob Junis has given up 2 singles in his first 3 innings. He has struck out 4. And it'll be Zobrist, Hayward, and Baez in the 4th. Zobrist took a called 3rd strike on a fastball in the 1st inning. One ball, 1 strike. Statcast AI, powered by AWS. I think of Ben Zobrist as more of an all fields type of a hitter, but at this stage of his career, batting left-handed, he's more of a pull hitter. And pull it he does. Herrera stumbles in the corner, and Zobrist is digging for 3rd. Mondesi made a great throw. Boy, he really showed off his arm, and when that throw was coming in from the right field corner, it looked like the Royals had no chance to get him. And Zobrist will be at 3rd with nobody out.
Hey, this was an interesting 3 bouncers there. Rosie did a good job of getting rid of it quickly. Mondesi unleashing that powerful arm. If the ball was thrown closer to the bag, they got him. But this is one heck of a turn by Zobrist, getting himself a nice 3-bagger. Crowd let him know too. That's his 2nd one of the season. How about it? Now got a little work to do here. Ned's gonna play the infield back. So really, Hayward, they're just giving him an RBI opportunity here. All he's got to do is make some contact, and sometimes that's hard to do.
He hit a shot into center field in the 1st inning for a 2-out single. Hayward got a huge contract to sign with the Cubs as a free agent, and it did not work out right away at all. He only hit .230 with a .631 OPS the first year. Now the Cubs won the World Series that year, but he got a little better last year, and now he's hitting in the 280s, and his OPS is over .750 this year. And we were chatting with Ron Coomer, who was on Price Chopper Royals Live with Joel and Monty, and asking him about that, and he said Hayward's issues were mostly mechanical, and he's fixed those, and now offensively more of what the Cubs had hoped for. First and 3rd, nobody out.
You know, that Price Chopper pregame live show, I watch it every day before the game, 30 minutes before the game. Tune in, folks. And there's a former Royal right there who's made a big difference in Hayward and a lot of the hitters. Chili Davis, an outstanding switch hitter in his day. He played 19 major league seasons.
First and 3rd, nobody out to Baez, and Junis struck him out with a slider in the 1st inning. That would come in handy again here. Fouled away, and that pitch appeared to be off the plate. With every good hitter, especially guys who can hit for some power, you always hear about pitchers wanting to keep the ball down. That applies to Baez. That slugging percentage on fastballs up is the highest in the major leagues.
Those are pitches easier to hit over the wall.
One and one.
See if Baez makes an adjustment from his last at bat. Junis struck him out.
Probably going to throw that pitch again. 1-2.
Teaser. It starts up. Hard to pick up rotation on that slider, and then it just falls out. He'd take a double play here. He'd give him that run for 2 this early in the game.
Yeah, but you'd rather have that.
And have Schwarber.
Now the double play.
There you go.
5 strikeouts for Junis, 3 with his slider.
Mo lottery replay. Working it out of the zone to a young hitter that's really aggressive and wanted to knock in a run. Junis has induced 6 ground ball double plays this year.
Zobrist tripled. Hayward walked. Then the strikeout. And here's Schwarber. And he grounded out his first time up. Hayward has only stolen 1 this year, but he has Junis' attention. Late on a fastball, 0-1. Salvi's already thrown down to first with Hayward over at first, so Hayward wasn't very far when that pitch came in.
Yeah, and to watch Salvi come up and watching both runners flinch and go back to the base at the same time, he has their attention. It's because he's so quick. Salvi, when he catches that ball, and you know, his pop time is amazing. From glove to hand, it's even quicker.
Fooled him. I remember when Ivan Rodriguez was in his prime, and someone referred to it as the drop anchor effect, meaning if you were on the bases, you would drop an anchor. You wouldn't think about stealing, and you wouldn't get a very big secondary lead.
No, and the only time you could steal successfully was off the pitcher.
The rain has started to fall. Not very heavy at the moment, but the grounds crew is behind the tarp, and we're seeing some flashes of lightning out beyond left field. 1-2. And that skips away from Salvi, and a run will score. It is a wild pitch, and the leadoff triple turns into a run.
Salvi had both hands there. He couldn't control it. He tried to use his chest protector to drop it in the front, hit off the side of it, so it's going to kick right. Fifth wild pitch on the year for Jake Junis.
Two and two on Schwarber. Fouled a fastball back. And now it's raining a little harder, and the rain is coming straight down. So at the moment, not a thunderstorm blowing through with heavy winds. Just slow moving rain. Little bit up and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Schwarber strikes out. So that makes the wild pitch sting a little more. 6 strikeouts for Junis in 3 2/3.
It's that high fastball. I'm telling you, he's putting it where he wants it. That high fastball, he's commanding it up and out of the zone, making this pitch look even better.
And here comes the grounds crew. So Trevor Vance has a good handle on the weather. So the tarp doesn't come out unless it's pouring out in the parking lot, and that's probably what's happening. So Royals will try and get the tarp on the field before it begins raining heavy, trying to avoid what happened in Minneapolis on Friday during the second rain delay. It's not a very big cell, and we're just getting the southern tip of it. But I guess the concern right now as an amateur meteorologist would be just there's at the moment very little wind. If the wind was strong right now, well, then we'd have be pretty confident that it's just going to blow right through. But now the wind's picking up a little bit. Flags out in right field, and Trevor wants to get the infield covered before it starts pouring. And if the tarp is on the field right now, then I'll bet in a matter of moments it will be pouring. We'll be back. 1-1 tie in the top of the 4th.
like the energy I'm feeling in this ballpark tonight. I'm sure the players do too. They're the ones who are digging it.
Cubs just scored a run in this inning. Ben Zobrist tripled what could have been a double and an error. Rosell Herrera fell to his knees, taking the ball out of the right field corner, and Zobrist looked like he was going to stop at second until he noticed that. So he went to third. Then Hayward walked, and the Cubs had runners at first and third and nobody out, and then Junis struck out Baez, and he was ahead of Schwarber when he uncorked a wild pitch. Zobrist scored. Hayward went to second. He's talking to his third base coach Brian Butterfield at the moment, but he'll go back to second base. And then Junis struck out Schwarber, which made the wild pitch a little more painful because he has set himself up to get out of this, or had set himself up to get out of this without the wild pitch, and he'll be getting Wilson Contreras after he finishes his warm-up tosses. It's been a big strikeout night for him so far. He has struck out 6 in 3 2/3 innings, 4 of which have been on his slider, 2 on his fastball. The 2 on the fastball have been called third strikes, so there's been a couple of spots here where the Cubs were expecting a slider, and he surprised them with a fastball. And so I'll bet that was just a normal break for him. Inning come to an end, you go sit down, you have a drink of water, you towel yourself off, you go back out and you warm up, except now he only has to get 1 out.
And for those that are lucky enough can sit out there by the fountains, the only fountains of its kind out of the 30 Major League Baseball teams. What a beautiful place. I know there's a lot of Cubs fans probably hadn't been here before saying the same thing. Now let's see if Junis can keep his focus with 2 outs here, get out of the inning, keep the score tied here.
Contreras singled to right in the second inning. Fastball for a strike, and it was a really good swing. It was a slider down and away, perfectly located by Junis. But instead of pulling off that pitch, Contreras went with it and dumped one into right field. That was the good part. The bad part was he tried to stretch it into a double, and Herrera threw him out. Fouled away, 0-2.
They have some aggressive base runners on the team. Baez got thrown out down by 3 runs the other night. They overturned the call. But, you know, Joe Maddon, he's a manager who likes aggressiveness. He likes his team to go hard. And if they're going to get thrown out once in a while, so be it. He doesn't want to harness them and hold them back and keep them from taking that extra base. He lets them go free.
Those Rays teams he had, right, Tropicana Field, man, they would just run you into the bay. That's a swing. So Junis, after the break, throws 3 pitches. Contreras slams his bat into the grass. The Cubs get a run, and at the end of 3½, we're tied at 1. City is brought to you by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Royals won, Cubs won. Escobar's driven in a run for the Royals. The Cubs got their run on a wild pitch. Ken Zobrist opened the inning with a triple, and then he scored. And now he's back out to defense with Dozier, Herrera, and Bonifacio coming up. Breaking balls inside, ball one.
Oh, 22-minute break, just enough to let the fans get up, get them something to eat, come back to their seats.
2 balls and no strikes.
And to keep the energy in the house and keeping both starters in there, this is one of the most beautiful rain delays I've ever been in. Didn't burn the pitchers.
Dozier grounded into a double play in the first inning. I think that's my first beautiful rain delay.
Okay. I knew you were going to say something,
yeah.
but the fact that they put the
tarp
on.
There are many kind of rain delays.
Yeah, they pulled the tarp on and off, seamless, and no problem, and didn't lose our starters.
3-1. I wonder if that's Trevor's first beautiful rain delay. We'll have to ask him. But I get your point.
Thank you, but I know Junis, it is for him. See if 3-1, good kitty count, get on base. Okay, didn't have to be. Gutter.
Jammed, and he'll drop it into left center field. Dozier is 1 for 2.
Okay, that's a start. He tried again to cut her in on his hands, and this one was elevated a little bit. And this is what Jim Hickey, Joe Maddon's pitching coach, has been talking to Hamill since he's been with the Cubs about, is that he'd like to see him go to more changeups than that cutter in, because the offenses, the right-handed bats, are getting to that cutter in there just for that reason. It stays up in the zone, it's going to break some bats, but you're going to flare it over the third baseman and the shortstop's heads.
Herrera looked like he was sitting on the first pitch breaking ball. He singled to center field leading off the second inning, and then Escobar got him home with 2 outs. Just foul. No balls, 2 strikes. If the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the Kansas City Urban Youth Academy. Herrera has 2 triples this year. Right field, Hayward got a good first step. He's an excellent outfielder. Hayward has won 5 Gold Gloves in his career. And now Bonifacio, who's in a slump at the moment. And for a moment, he thought he had an extra base hit back in the second.
Oh, man, it was a fantastic snag. That for sure would have been extra bases. Baez came out of nowhere and got him. And Bonifacio probably said to himself, wouldn't you know it, when you're going bad, that happens. But he can change it around right here, hit a gapper.
That makes him 5 for his last 52.
Yeah.
His average has gone from 306 to 198. And there's some bad luck mixed in there, like that last at bat. A more routine play for Baez. He got a nice big hop. Bonifacio avoids the double play. And as is standard today, the Cubs will take another look. And he was safe.
Yep, good hustle. That's the one thing you can control. If you're a player, a professional, amateur, whatever you're doing, always control your hustle and hustle hard. Play hard. No excuse. Don't have to have any talent to do that. Especially when you're in the show, playing in front of people that pay money to come watch you play.
He did attempt at that, says first base umpire Doug Eddings.
Yep, it looked like he offered.
Mondesi popped to second his first time up. Hayward backs up and right, and that's the inning. So the Royals aren't able to make anything of Dozier's leadoff single. At the end of 4, we have a 1-1 tie. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. 20 years ago in 1998, this young man right here got the first ever save against the Chicago Cubs. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
Rhino, he called you, or excuse me, Rhino called you young man, Monty.
Well, I'm old, so I was young then.
Was that first series here or in Chicago in '98?
I remember we played a series in Chicago, and I don't believe I pitched in that series, but when they came back here the next year, that must have been when it was.
In '98.
Yeah.
All right, this is the 22nd matchup between the two teams. The Cubs are 12-9. And to be more precise, June 26, 1998. Monty's save for the first ever win against the Cubs. Fastball 1-1 on Ian Happ, who was at odds with the home plate umpire Mark Rippiger back in the second inning. He wasn't happy with a couple of calls, including a called third strike on a fastball. There's a changeup, and it's 1-2, and Happ talking the strike zone over again. And Monty Junis has 7 strikeouts already in 4 innings.
Yeah, he's on his game. This is great to see from Jacob Junis. I think he's getting a little better each start since coming back from that DL stint with the back inflammation. So nice to see.
And Monty, listening to you talk in the pregame show, you like I said, he's got to command that fastball better.
He's got an outstanding slider, but anyone who has a great slider normally has a fastball that they can either spot it or they can use it up in the strike zone or below bats. And I think that's one thing that Jacob Junis does nice when he's on. He uses his fastball effectively to set up that slider. He throws a lot of sliders that are strikes, balls that finish in the strike zone. And if you don't have a good fastball and you can't command your fastball, hitters are not going to be taking that pitch for strikes.
He struck out Russell, batting now on a pitch just like that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. And his pitch count actually is not that bad considering all the strikeouts. 1-2.
You know, to go as far as Junis has, is to see the success that he's had already at a young age. It's amazing that he's doing it without a lot of changeups. He's going to have to continue. If he wants success up here, he's going to have to need that 3rd pitch.
And that's a pitch that's in progress for him. It's something that'll come. It'll get better and better as he goes. And that's a pitch that will essentially round him out to be a 3-pitch pitcher. As a pitcher, you want the guy thinking about either a fastball or a changeup, fastball or a slider. When you have him thinking about 2 or 3 different pitches, the better your odds of getting them out are going to be. So another pitch to that arsenal for Jacob Junis would be great.
That slider stayed up, and Russell was all over it. He's on with 1 out.
And, you know, for a lot of pitchers, that changeup's the last pitch to develop. Now, that's a field pitch, Monty. Could Junis do that in the offseason without having to face any live hitters and going to any winter ball? Could he just working on that command in the offseason a little bit and get more comfortable with it?
Well, I'm sure he has. I'm sure he will more. But it's a pitch that you really have to believe in. You have to believe in a changeup because you're essentially throwing a pitch that's going to look like your fastball coming out of your arm, but the grip itself is going to slow that pitch down. And when you're slowing a pitch down as a pitcher, subconsciously you're thinking, am I doing him a favor by slowing that pitch down? So that's why you have to establish your confidence. You get guys out with it. But I think it's once you get it, it's a pitch that's a very easy pitch to work from. It's a very easy pitch on your arm. Jacob Junis is a lot like I was early in my career. Didn't have the 3-pitch mix, more of a 2-pitch guy. But as I evolved and got better with my changeup, I became a better pitcher.
He's got a nice future ahead of him. He'll always remember this one, especially if his offense can get him some run support and they can get a W.
No doubt about that. I'm sure he got a lot of very, very big number of fans and family, friends watching this game.
0-2 on Almora. He grounded out to short in the 3rd inning.
I think one thing to keep an eye on for Jacob Junis is as he sees these Cubs hitters more and more times through, when you're playing a team from a National League that maybe you've seen them in spring training, but you don't have a lot of history against them, I think you have a built-in advantage as a pitcher. And we've seen some of that from Jacob early. I mean, he's thrown a lot of very high-quality pitches, but I don't think the Cubs hitters have seen him. Maybe 2nd time through, he will make some adjustments, maybe use that fastball in different parts of the strike zone, elevate that fastball a little bit more with intent above those bats.
Another slider that stayed out over the plate. That drops in front of Alex. Russell holds at 2nd base.
You know, I'm sure 3rd base coach for the Cubs, 1st-year coach Brian Butterfield knows all about the arms of the Royals, and Alex Gordon in particular here. That's off the end of the bat. A base runner, he can see that. He can feel it. Hitter obviously can feel it. But instead of the runner, Russell, coming from second base, Butterfield locked him up quickly because he knew Alex could throw on the run. This is one of the most dangerous left fielders. You see how Alex, he was loaded and ready to go. He doesn't have to have his feet set to throw. That's good coaching.
Looked like an old infielder.
Exactly. Butterfield's been a coach, manager, or scout since 1984. He's pretty good at what he does.
So this begins the third time through for the Cubs. Anthony Rizzo, their leadoff man, is flied out to left twice. Two balls, no strikes. That's a spike from the second to third time through, and even when he was pitching well, really well early in the season, that was a big spike.
Right, and that's a little bit about what I was talking about. When you see the guy with the slider more and more times, you have the ability to make those adjustments, and you have a better feel for it. And I think the more you throw it, the more opportunity that they're going to have a chance to get a read on it. Let's go back to the last base hit by Almora. Here's a pretty good slider. I mean, the location of the slider is not bad. It's in the bottom part of the strike zone, middle part of the plate, but it was down to the strike zone. But Almora probably had seen a number of sliders. He makes the adjustment knowing where that pitch is going to finish, and he gets a base hit.
He'll be swinging 3-0 if he gets a pitch he likes.
And the bases are loaded with one out. That's just the second walk allowed by Jake.
Okay, Zobrist, he's a smart hitter. He knows what's going on in this situation. He does not want to hit a ground ball. Now, Junis would love that. If they could induce a ground ball and roll him up, that would be probably what Cal Elder is going to tell him right here. Hey, look, use the defense here. Got to keep the ball down on Zobrist. But, you know, Zobrist, he's going to try to shoot that ball to left field. He's not going to try to pull him because he knows that if he tries to pull a pitch away, that's a ground ball double play waiting to happen.
Right, and going back to what we were talking about earlier, this would be a great time. You got a left-handed batter at the plate. When you have that changeup, you can throw it down and away, and he may very well roll over to second base.
Yeah, now he does have 6 career grand slams, so he could be looking for a cookie up early in the count. But I'd be surprised if he tries to turn and burn on one. He wants to try to keep the line moving. Smart hitter. I don't know if you've noticed, Ryan, or not, but Zobrist, he's always had his chin out over his shoulder, but this year it seems like he's really scrunched up in here, up right around his hands and his neck area.
Like he's cold.
Yeah, but Chili Davis, first year hitting coach, has really stressed hands, and Zobrist is in a comfortable position right there. Trust in the hands.
Fastball fades outside. Zobrist struck out looking in the first, and then hooked a triple into the right field corner in the fourth. Got the ground ball, but it's foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think that might have been the changeup we were talking about right there. See if he can double up with it.
That would be nice. That's what he wants.
You always hear about the good ones. Not only do they have 3 pitches, but it's almost like they saved that third pitch for the third time through. Had him reaching at that changeup.
Now, if Zobrist gets a clean base hit to left field, I wouldn't be surprised if Butterfield does not send the second runner at second base because of Alex's 8 outfield assists. Bonifacio has 2 assists from right field. He's got a pretty good arm.
Junis has only thrown 6 changeups among his 80 pitches tonight, 4 of which have been to Zobrist.
Herrera is in right. Bonifacio might have a hard time throwing anybody out from the DH position. Herrera at Rosie's got a nice arm. I would say he's average to slightly above average with his throws.
I agree with that.
Okay.
He gets rid of it very quickly.
Ground ball, and coming to the plate Drew Butera realized there was only one out on that play. And that's a long throw, and not one that Butera's made very often, but a strike to Salvador Perez to cut down Russell.
That was heady.
Take a look at the pitch sequence and the plate appearance here by Ben Zobrist. He threw a little bit of everything. I like he started with the fastball, then he's going to stay away for a while. You come inside with the fastball again, then you're going to get the ground ball, and that's a real key to get the ground ball. Didn't get the double play, but at least you got the lead runner out.
And you know, that play by Butera there, he went right up to his throwing position from his catcher, right from his ear, threw a straight strike. That's what he wanted to do. Nail that run at home. That was perfect. You know, watching that sequence that you just went over with Junis, he really has a focus tonight. He is executing his pitches. This might be his best start of the season.
Well, he sure has gotten better each time since coming back from his back injury, so it's good to see. I was concerned a little bit about the break he had there. What it's going to do, is he going to be able to go out and go more than maybe 5 innings? But we'll see. Got to get through this one first.
1-1 on Hayward, who is single to center and walked.
I think one thing that's been very impressive with Jake tonight is he's been able to hit Sal's target the majority of the time. So he's not you know, scattergun all over the place. He's hitting the target.
1-2.
I think this will be a huge pick-me-up for this Royals club. Able to get out of this inning with the 0 on the board after the way it started.
Good spot. 2-2. Bounced off the plate. Dozier in time. And Junis shows some rare emotion. He pumps his fist as he works out of what was a bases loaded 1-out situation against a team who scored the most runs in the National League. Series championship with a Gold Threads replica jersey giveaway this Sunday, presented by Fox Sports Kansas City. The first 15,000 fans through the gates receive this giveaway before the Royals take on the Cardinals at 1:15. That's this Sunday. Tickets at Royals.com. Ball 1-2 Alcides Escobar with 2 down in the second inning. He singled in Rosel Herrera to put the Royals in front. The Cubs got their run on a wild pitch in the fourth. Up the right field line, Rizzo, a good defender, goes out, and he missed it.
Oh man, is that a break? Yeah, Rizzo shaking his head. As you know, Cole Hamels, he's wanting every out he can, giving him an extra out there and another opportunity for Escobar. See if he can take advantage.
Well, Hamels is a pro. He understands that he's got to pick Rizzo up right here. He's been around the block a few times, but that's a play that as a pitcher you expect to be made.
Way to go. What do you think about the acquisition of Cole Hamels by the Cubs?
Well, certainly a pick-me-up, especially with Yu Darvish on the shelf right now. The guy's got experience. He's been in a World Series. He's World Series champion. He's done a lot in baseball. And we had Ron Coomer on our pregame show tonight. Talked about what a pro he is in the clubhouse, the way he approaches the game on the mound. So it's a great acquisition for the Cubs.
And that's somewhat of a weakness for the team with the best record in the league. Their starter's ERA is 9th. It's not great. I mentioned earlier, this is not the first time that Hamels has moved on at the trading deadline. 2015, he went to the Rangers, which shocked everybody because the Rangers were 8 games out of first. They were 6 games out of second, 2 games out of the wild card, and they got Hamels. But the Rangers won his last 10 starts, and when it was all said and done, they won the division. So he was not spooked by a change of scenery and some high pressure in the middle of the season.
I think when you're a player like Hamels, who has the experience, and you go to a team where you fit in more, you're not the guy that they're expecting to be the savior for your rotation. I think it's a better opportunity. He's going to have a much easier, if you say it that way, transition. But he's got to be excited about the opportunity to play for a team that has the best record in the National League, a team that's got high expectations to go to the postseason and possibly win again.
And I'm sure that he had that in the back of his mind this season when it started. He knows his contract's up. He's had a good run in Texas. He's relocated his family. They have a home there now. So he knows that he's going to go to this championship team. But good swing by Butera. Loved how he stayed in the middle of the field. Especially for Whitley here, who's come into tonight hitting .377 off of left-handed pitching.
Timeout was called by Hamels' catcher Wilson Contreras, and Hamels not happy, but look at Contreras with his hand on his chest protector. He wants Hamels to know that was me. Don't whistle one over Witt's helmet here, because he's not the one that called for time. That'll be into the crowd. Witt has flied out twice tonight. Well, how about Cole Hamels? 3rd time through the order. That's pretty normal. 3rd time through. That's the highest opponent's batting average, and it's not a huge jump, but a significant one. Oh, 0-2.
And one of the things that makes Hamels so difficult to hit, he's got 6 different pitches he throws. Most guys are fortunate to have 2 or 3 that they can throw for quality strikes, but he's got 6 pitches he throws. The one he throws the least is his slider, and it's a pretty good one. Only throws it 6% of the time.
Off speed, and Witt went down to a knee with that follow through. And that is Hamels' first strikeout after striking out 9 in his Cubs debut.
Well, you can, Bonnie, there it is. There's the little slider right there, and he backlegged him, it backdoored it, and that's perfect location. And to get it, hitter like Merrifield off balance like that, that's a good pitch.
Yeah, and he's not going to see a lot of left-handed batters, but it's a great weapon when he's able to throw the slider to the lefties, like we got Alex Gordon right here.
Who's the only lefty in there tonight?
There's the slider. Phillips, Duda, and O'Hearn are sitting this one out with Hamels on the mound, who really doesn't wear out left-hand batters like you might assume. Someone as accomplished as he is, being a lefty, you might assume a natural advantage over left-hand batters, but actually lefties have done pretty good against him. Better than righties. Kevin McCarthy appears to be warmed up and ready to go for the 6th inning.
With that rain delay, it's no surprise that they're going to shut Jacob Junis down after 5 innings tonight.
He's at 87 pitches, and you say, well, that's not a lot, but he had an extra up and down. Alex hits a shot into right field. Butera holds. And Alex is on for a 2nd time tonight.
Alex doing a great job controlling his front shoulder. Now, we've talked about him loosening up his hands, but the fact that he's able to just keep that shoulder tucked and then throw the hands at the right opportunity with not a long swing is one of the reasons why he's really had a nice surge lately.
The difference to me and Alex Gordon is that it's almost like he is trying to just serve the baseball. He's not trying to crush it. Now, he's going to crush some baseballs when he gets the hanging sliders at those pitches in the middle part of the plate. But right now, he's serving the baseball all fields. He's doing an outstanding job.
Salvi pulls it foul. And that topic was came up, I should say, about Alex Gordon. That is, at this stage of his career, did he have to change his mindset as a hitter? And the guy who would routinely hit 30, 40, at one time 50 doubles, and would get into right around 20 home runs a season. Did he need to start thinking more about that ball? It was foul. It was foul. Then it looked like it kicked to the right. Baez is pointing to his dugout, but that's not reviewable. But anyway, it seems that Alex has more of a singles doubles approach, and it's working.
I agree, and I think it's something that he's going to have to continue to do to be successful.
Well, what a break here. To give Salvi another opportunity to knock in a run, give Junis the lead, let him to qualify for a W. Oh, that's a timely foul ball.
It appeared as though that ball almost hooked around the base.
Yeah.
He's going to give him the chase. He's going to try to bounce it. Ow.
Got him on the foot. So you'd like Salvi to swing the bat.
Yeah.
But he was also down, no balls, 2 strikes.
He knew they were going to make him chase. Just couldn't get his foot out of the way. Right off his toe. Ouch. He's got that little pad there on the top of his foot. Unfortunately, didn't hit it. It looked like he caught his toes. That's all he needed.
You could tell he felt like he had protection down there. He didn't react immediately. I think he felt like he was going to hit that pad, but when it hit the toe right on the end of his shoe, a little surprised to Sal.
You can see he's okay.
That's just Nick number 178 over the course of a season for him.
Well, he's going to walk it off. He's tough as nails. All right, good situation for Dozier here. Just 4 for 41 with runners in scoring position this year, and he's never gotten a hit with the bases loaded. This could be the time. He's overdue.
The Royals got their first run tonight with 2 outs when Escobar got Herrera to the plate. One ball, 1 strike.
You gotta want it. You just can't miss your pitch. If Hamill gives you something here, you can't foul it off. You gotta drill it out there and find a hole.
I know as a pitcher, I got to give the guy at least one pitch during the plate appearance that he can put wood on. Maybe he'll get it right here.
Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Okay, that's a great pitch there. That's a really good borderline. If he hits that, he might go top to the third baseman. Junis watches, controlling his nerves.
You said it before. You know Jacob Junis looking to possibly get a run here, put him in position for a win.
Yep.
He's really pulling for this right here.
No doubt.
3 balls, 1 strike. And it's not like Hamels is just going to lay one in there right now. He's still going to try and make a quality pitch to Dozier. And
Dozier does have a bases loaded walk this year. But you gotta be looking for a pitch to drive. I'm sorry, you can't be looking for a walk.
Pitch and location.
Drive it.
it's not the one he wanted.
It was not the pitch that Hunter wanted, and I don't think that's where Hamels wanted the pitch.
I think it worked because everything had been inside. And Hunter was probably anticipating another pitch inside. The runners go, and Dozier just nicked it foul.
Well, that's the area where he got caught looking last time.
It's like a little cutter in.
That's what it was.
Normally, if a pitcher throws it 3-2 once, he'll throw it 3-2 again.
Hunter's got to be looking in there.
Got it in on his hands, and Rizzo to Hamels to end the inning. Monty, we'll see you after the game.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Monty.
At the end of 5, it's still a 1-1 tie. Jacob Junis is done for the night, but he pitched well. Get some congratulations from Heath Fillmyer, and Kevin McCarthy is a Chevy call to the bullpen with Baez, Schwarber, and Contreras coming up in the 6th.
Okay, McCarthy, he's got the goods. He just wants to use that defense, so that bowling ball type sinker he has. Heavy, hard sinking fastball, slider, curve, change. Keep his team in the game. Pick up where Junis left off.
is deep to center field. Merrifield is back and caught, but over the wall. Number 25 for Javier Baez.
Pretty good catch by the fan. That's a slider that just spun and stayed right there. And Baez, that big, long swing, got fully extended. He's got tremendous pop. Give that fan a contract.
So 2-1 Chicago. And before, I could remind you the mess that McCarthy got himself out of yesterday. Baez hits his first pitch out of the ballpark. Remember yesterday in Minnesota, Kevin gave up a couple of hits and then a walk to load the bases with nobody out, and then the Royals got Garver to hit into a double play, and then Peralta came in and Salvi made an excellent play on a bunt. 2 balls, 1 strike on Schwarber. Out to Mondesi in shallow right, and Schwarber is 0 for 3. And now McCarthy will get Wilson Contreras. You used the word focused in describing Jacob Junis tonight, that he really, I mean, he's always got that calm, focused demeanor, but he made big pitches when he needed to tonight and gave up just 1 run in 5 innings, and that 1 run was a wild pitch, and had he not thrown the wild pitch, he would have eventually gotten out of that inning. He struck out 8, which is 1 shy of his career high.
Yeah, now I'm not so sure about the numbers and what those add up to be as far as his best start ever, but for this season against this team at this particular time, to me, he looked in command of the game. He was executing the fastball. That was his key. He'd been getting hit hard his last 10 starts because he's been leaving it in the middle. You leave it in the middle against this team here, they'll let you know. He didn't make 1 mistake with his fastball. That made his slider look even better. Well done. Great job.
2-2 on Contreras. Good pitch. So after the home run, McCarthy gets a ground ball and a strikeout, 2 away.
Cheer on everyone's favorite Gold Glover, Alex Gordon, in his reserve fan section. Tickets are just $35 and include your seat in left field, a Gordo big head, and a premium Gordo Nation shirt. Don't miss this chance to cheer on Gordo every Thursday home game. Get your tickets now at royals.com/theme tickets. Cool shirt this year. I like it. It's got him making one of those running catches with his back to the ball, and just magnificent play like we see all the time.
Happ is struck out looking and swinging, and in both at bats he had a conversation or two with the home plate umpire about the strike zone. Mark Rippiger is calling the balls and strikes tonight. 2-1. Two and two. Hot day in Kansas City with humidity, and then after the 22-minute rain delay, it is really steamy down there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So McCarthy, after every pitch, trying to get the excess perspiration off of his throwing hand.
Happ's a young hitter. He got a long swing. He strikes out a lot.
Changeup, and that's the 3rd time he has struck out tonight. So McCarthy strikes out 2, but Baez homers to center field, and the Cubs lead 2-1. Are down by 1 as they come up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Our Sonic Slam inning. Tonight's contestant is Bridget Merrifield from Butler. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Bridget wins $500. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Bridget wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. And Cole Hamels has given up some home runs this year. 23, which is the 4th most in the major leagues. Pitching most of the year for the Rangers, and the ball flies out of that ballpark.
Yep. All the damage, mostly outside of one of them, have been done off right-handed bats. But Hamels doing a nice job of mixing up his pitches. Just the Royals tonight, they're not sure they can sit on any particular pitch. Going to bounce it. Ooh, left it up.
Herrera also led off the 2nd and singled, and then scored the Royals run on Escobar's 2-out single. Struck him out with a breaking ball. That's Hamels' 2nd. Back in 2008, Cole Hamels beat Ben Zobrist, Joe Madden, and the Tampa Bay Rays, and won World Series MVP. Of course, Salvi won it when Ben Zobrist was with the Royals in 15, and then Zobrist won it when the Cubs beat the Indians in 2016. So 3 guys are on the field. That leads into our sprint trivia question for tonight. Who are the only 3 multiple World Series MVP winners?
That could go way back. How far back?
I just asked. We're thinking alike, Hud, because I just asked the
That's
truck.
not
How
good.
far back?
That's not good for you, partner, if you're in my brain. All right.
But it is good for you.
You know it is, and I think we're going to get this, but it would be nice if we had an early tip.
1955 was the first year they started awarding a World Series MVP.
Thank you. So you got to think of the umpire right now. Not sure where he got it.
Well, there was a clunk, which is never good on a foul ball.
Mark Rippinger.
There are cracks, there are splats, and those both hurt. But the worst one is the clunk.
You gotta
just allow you to use your own imagination there.
You know, you gotta think about our trivia question and who had the most world championships, and start there. The Yankees?
I was thinking Yankees.
Yankees. Okay, so somebody, maybe a Yogi or Whitey
Mantle.
Ford. How about maybe a Reggie Jackson? Maybe when he missed October. It's got to be one of those guys.
Mickey Mantle.
And then the next most world championships are the Cardinals. So who in that bunch was it? Lou Brock, Bob Gibson? Was it was somebody from them? And then maybe after that, who had the most world championships?
The A's have been to, well, they won 3 in a row in the 70s.
How about the Dodgers? The Dodgers, they've been into some World Series. I don't know who has the 3rd most, but those are definitely the first 2 that have the most. Oh, nice.
Bonifacio, and he really needed that.
Well, that's good swing there on a breaking pitch that was up. Okay, let's check it out here. It's a sidewinder and it's a hanger. That ball hung up and he's able to tag it. Those are the balls that you have to hit. Look at that, very little stride at all. He just trusts his hands and throws them right to the ball. Stayed up the middle.
Now, most of those years were well before my time.
And mine.
But I do remember, thanks to what Madison Bumgarner did to the Royals, there were comparisons to what Sandy Koufax did in 1965 against the Minnesota Twins. And that wasn't their only championship in the 60s.
Okay. So I like where you're going with that. Why don't you throw him out there for the first one?
Sandy Koufax. That's number 1.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, there you go.
Would that have been 65 and 63? Correct. Mondesi hits it to the gap, but he didn't get all of it. That ball didn't carry, and it kind of lost some steam. And Hayward's a very good defensive outfielder, so he ran that one down. 2 away.
Yeah, you know, Hayward, you can't get anything by him or in front of him. It's amazing. 4, you said 5 Gold Gloves, 4 straight, I believe he's had.
Even when he wasn't hitting in Chicago, he was still winning Gold Gloves. What about Mickey Mantle?
Yeah, it's got to be a Yankee. You want to throw him out there? Throw him out there.
Mickey Mantle. Strike 1.
All right. I'll pick a Yankee. I'm going with Mr. October.
Reggie Jackson. Correct.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, the next one, it's got to be a Cardinal. Doesn't have to be. Could be an Oakland A. Eckersley was an MVP, wasn't he? But not twice.
That group only won it once, though. They lost in '88, won in '89, and lost in '90. Escobar hits it out to Russell at short, and that ends the inning. At the end of 6, the Royals are down by 1. We got Rosell Herrera to the plate against Cole Hamels, and then a wild pitch thrown by Jacob Junis, one of the few bad pitches that he threw in his 5 innings. That scored Zobrist, and then Kevin McCarthy's first pitch to Javier Baez ended up in a Cub fan's glove on the wrong side of the wall in center field. Number 25 for Baez, and that's all the offense. As Joe Madden congratulates Cole Hamels. He's done after 6 innings. And Cole Hamels has given up 1 run in 11 innings since joining the Cubs. Addison Russell leads off the top of the 7th inning. Chop to third, and that's all Dozier can do is pick it up. Russell has 2 hits. Let's go to Joel.
Well, let's take another look at some minor league spotlight, and we have talked about Brady Singer, Jackson Kowar. Well, the guy that went right after them in the draft with the 34th pick, one after Kowar, Daniel Lynch, big left-hander out of the University of Virginia, 6'6", and look at the role that he is on. 3-0 with a 1.50 in 5 games at Lexington. Also had a 1.59 in 3 games at Burlington. So again, all these young college pitchers, maybe a little bit advanced, have been doing very well.
Royals get the out at second, and a double play with Mondesi's strong arm, and Drew Butera, who's filling in at first base, pulled it out of the dirt.
That's what McCarthy can do. Bring the ground balls, and do with a nice short hop pick right there. Made it look easy. Yeah, add a little stretch in there.
And you could read Ned's lips. He said, good job. So the Royals make a Chevy call to the bullpen. Tim Hill jogs in to face Anthony Rizzo with 2 outs.
Hill. Fox Sports Kansas City, KJO 105.5 and Suddenlink are bringing St. Joe's best fans to Kauffman Stadium on the Raised Royal Fan Express August 11th. For more information, go to royals.com/Fan Express. Tim Hill pitched a scoreless inning yesterday, the 7th, a full inning. And Ned Yost had been using him recently just with matchups with left-hand batters. That was the first time in 7 outings that Hill had gone a full inning. And here he's asked to get Anthony Rizzo, and he got the call on a low strike.
He's got a good hard fastball. It's a sinker, and again a little bit of sink to it. Slider and his changeup is pretty effective for an out pitch.
Fouled away, 0-2. Rizzo has flied to Gordon twice and left, and he was on with a walk. One of just 2 walks allowed by Junis tonight against his 8 strikeouts.
When he's on, he's a ground ball pitcher too. 90 to 93 with his fastball.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Junis allowed 1 in 5 innings. McCarthy allowed 1 in an inning and 2/3. Ben Zobrist will follow Rizzo, and then another left-hand batter, Jason Hayward. From 0-2 to 3-2.
Rizzo, 218 hitter against lefties. There's McCarthy. He's pulling for his buddy Hill. So go ahead and challenge him. There you go.
And Rizzo took an awkward angle coming out of the batter's box, running onto the grass. So Hill cut him off and then threw over to first to end a scoreless top of the 7th. Hamels night in our Pizza Ranch for the win pitching line. He was a contact pitcher tonight. He struck out 2 in 6 innings with only 1 walk and 1 run. So he's made 2 starts since joining the Cubs, and he's given up 1 run in 11 innings. And he was ready for a change of scenery because Over his last 5 starts with the Rangers before the trade, his ERA was over 10. And now Steve Cishek, funky right-hander, will get the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, 188 opponent average, 193 ERA. Ooh, man, he's been getting it done. 6'6", 220. Ooh, look at that nasty sinker there. Especially with the sidearm delivery. 4 and 2 seam sinker. He'll climb the ladder on you too. He'll go up and down. He's got a slider and a change. There you go. Look at that. He's filthy. Very difficult. Veteran.
He has 3 saves this year and 124 in his career. So he's not the Cubs closer, but he has a lot of experience in that role. 1 and 2 on Drew Butera.
Joe Madden, before the game, was telling me he uses Pedro Strop to close. He uses Carl Edwards, Cishek. He's just using a whole bunch of them now. Right now, they're all good. They got some good depth in their pen. Ooh, that thing broke about 4 feet. Hey, parents and grandparents, it's not too late to purchase the perfect gift for your young Royals fan. Purchase the 2018 Sluggers Blue Crew box just for $30. Membership includes a jersey, flat bill cap, drawstring bag, 2 compression sleeves, 2 home game ticket vouchers, and much more. Sign up now at Royals.com/Blue Crew. Plenty of time and they'll love it. How about a back-to-school present for them?
Whit Merrifield was 0 for 3 against Hamels. He lays off the slider, 2-0. Hit well to right field. The wind is blowing out toward right, but not deep enough. Hayward backs up onto the track. 2 outs. Ever since the rain delay, which was just 22 minutes, the wind has shifted. Blowing out toward right.
Ball was well hit, too, well struck.
Alex Gordon with 2 outs. He's on base 2 more times tonight. Alex walked in the 1st inning and singled to right in the 5th. Borderline pitch went Cishek's way. 1-1. Back with the same pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cishek, at one time when he was a closer, had 33 consecutive saves with the Marlins. That's a team record 4 years ago. And he gets the job done in the bottom of the 7th inning. He gets a strikeout, a fly out, and a ground out. Ben Zobrist will lead off the 8th. The Cubs lead 2-1.
the game, we talked about Junis versus Hamels, and it turned into quite a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Really happy for Jacob Junis, the way he threw the ball this evening. Only went 5 innings, had that rain delay, so probably shortened his outing by a little bit, but very, very effective. The one wild pitch is the only run he gave up.
And that is the pitch that brought Ben Zobrist in. We'll talk about it here from Ned Yost and more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. And speaking of Zobrist leading things off, have you guys figured out the final answer to that trivia question?
I believe we have, Mr. Goldberg. I think that we're going to guess, and hopefully we'll hear the ding, ding, ding sign. The great Hall of Famer, Bob Gibson.
Correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
With 1 strike. Brian Flynn will get Zobrist, Hayward, and Baez in the 8th inning. Brian's last appearance was Friday when we had 2 rain delays that lasted 2 hours and 24 minutes. Brian ended up taking the loss. We had a rain delay tonight that was just 22 minutes.
Flynn, like the other 2, McCarthy and Hill, sinker baller.
Zobrist turns away, and I think everybody is all right. It was a terrible feeling for a hitter to see a line drive fly into the crowd. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Flynn is a big guy, 6'7". He really likes to get with his angle, his arm angle, downhill, plane. You hear it all the time. But tall guys, that's what they like. Because down in the zone means ground balls, and most of the fielders here in the big leagues are all top notch. Watch this. Oh. Good try.
Hot shot and a short hop. Zobrist is on to begin the 8th inning. He is 2 out of 4 tonight.
Okay, watch this. Dozier, he's ready. Okay, hot corner, they call it. That's the little Olay play. It just went off the end of his glove. Couldn't keep it in the webbing. That ball off of Zobrist's bat there was 99 miles an hour coming at you, short hop.
And now grounded to Mondesi, who turns the other way. No double play. It's a bit unorthodox for a second baseman, but he's so quick that it almost worked.
Very agile. He's on the right place. 2-hopper. Watch this. And he played it that way. That's okay. That's a quick move for him. He's comfortable. That's his throwing arm side. You see the transfer there over the top. That was excellent.
Probably going to get more on the throw if you do it that way, as opposed to going in a full pivot.
Yep. Got a lot on the throw. The other way, you got to really set up your lower body. You got to really swing and turn. I liked it. Thought it looked good.
And now former Cub Jason Hamill will come on with 1 on and 1 out.
the 8th inning. Cubs up 2-1. MLB.tv is now available at a lower price for $59.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game. Plus, get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of the special offer. Baez, better be careful. If you leave anything out over that dish, he don't get cheated. There it was, a little spinner that didn't have a lot of movement to it. And look at that, fully extended, one-hand takeoff, good follow-through, a lot of lower half in there. What a play. Nice catch, good hit, timely.
So Jason Hamill, who spent parts of 3 seasons with the Cubs as a starter, comes out of the bullpen for the Royals with Hayward at first base and 1 out. Hamill started 2014 with the Cubs and then was traded to the A's and was on the A's wild card team, and then signed back with the Cubs in 2015, and then he won 15 games for the Cubs the year they won the World Series, 2016. Royals had 3 members of that championship Cubs team. Remember, they had Hamill, Jorge Soler, and Travis Wood, and during an off day early in the season, those 3 guys flew back to Chicago to get their World Series rings.
I remember.
Fouled away, 0-1 on Baez. Let's go to Joel.
Well, when Jason was with the Cubs, Cole was rumored to be traded there, and the two had joked about how funny it would be if they were on the same team with similar names. Well, when Hamels was just acquired, Jason got a tweet from a fan saying, "Welcome to the Cubs, Jason." Jason said, "I appreciate the warm welcome, but I think you have the wrong Hamill." A great addition, the other guy, though.
And we had a game this year where it was Hamill against Hamels.
Yep, I remember. Heck, it's a pretty good game, too, if I remember.
Good for the fans, nightmare for the broadcasters. But I think we did all right.
I don't think we messed up one time. The name.
Hayward runs, and it's lined into right field, and that's going to go to the wall. Hayward scores. Baez has a double. He's driven in 2 of the 3 Cubs runs. It is 3-1 Chicago.
Just like that. A perfect hit and run. The pitch was located right where Baez wanted. Up and out over the plate. Takes off. Hayward would have stolen the base, but the weight to hit the ball behind him, this is exactly how the play was designed 100 years ago. Runner takes off, hit to right field, got a chance to get him to third or score him. That's a well-executed play there.
The Royals will walk Schwarber. Set up a righty-righty matchup and a chance for a ground ball and a double play. Wilson Contreras. Cubs catcher is 1 for 3 tonight. Fouled away, 0-1.
Baez, now he'll attempt to steal if he feels like he can get a jump. You can steal off of Hamill. He takes his time getting the ball home. 19 steals for Baez. Schwarber at first is watching him. If Baez goes, he's going to try to go, but Salvi, he's
And Hamill sensed it.
Yep, 50% of runners. You can see Baez trying to get an extra lead there on his secondary. Secondary lead is the lead after the pitch. Salvi'd love it for him to go. He'd step behind the right-handed batter and fire down there. Or sometimes they'll throw to try to get the trail runner. Just depends. And typically the catcher will step out in front of the plate and let the infielders know which guy he's going to throw out. That's important. Communication's everything. And in this game, it's all about body language, signs, and things like that. So you really got to be alert, especially if you're an infielder. Pitch to pitch, and sometimes pitches way ahead, you got to think.
Hamill jumps ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But you got to be careful with this guy. He's hit 9 home runs this year, and every home run has come when he has been behind in the count. Throw to third, and it's high. So it's a wild pitch. Baez goes to third. Schwarber goes to second.
Baez has been looking for that. He's been wanting to advance. In the last couple of bouncers up there, Salvi was able to keep it close. This one just got a little bit behind him, but a nice job again by Salvi. And Dozier keeping it from going to the outfield.
Tried to persuade Baez into thinking that it went by him and into left field. And the Royals will bring the infield in. Foul tip and a strikeout. 2 down.
Excellent pitch, the right time. Good job hanging on by Salvi.
And here's Ian Happ, who already has the hat trick tonight. That means 3 strikeouts. Junis got him twice. McCarthy got him once, and now he's 0-1 against Hamill. And that's 122 strikeouts this year for Happ. Late. No balls, 2 strikes.
Used to be that you would do all you could to put the ball in play to stay away from a golden sombrero. But anymore, strikeouts don't, nobody's embarrassed by that. Junis got him on a changeup last time up.
Throw him a sombrero. But the Cubs add a run on Baez RBI double. So the Royals are down by 2 to the bottom of the 8th with Salvador Perez leading off. Royals tomorrow against Mike Montgomery, originally from the Royals farm system. Tomorrow's game is at 7:15. Coverage begins at 6:30, and then Heath Fillmyer and Jose Quintana on Wednesday. The Royals will see 3 left-hand starters in this series. Brandon Kintzler, we saw him quite a bit with Minnesota, and then he was traded away to Washington, and would seem like the beginning of the end of the Twins last year, but then they took off after their closer was traded away. And then Kintzler was traded from the Nationals to the Cubs this year.
Yep. Joe Maddon has a nice little stable of potential closers, but guys that can pitch late in games, and there's the ground screw again.
There's a chance that rain could arrive in the next 10 minutes, but heavy rain looks like just a little bit west of Overland Park. Popped up. Zobrist is there. 1 out. Salvi's 1 for 3. Celebrate 50 seasons of Royals baseball at the Royals Charities 5K Retro Run Walk on Saturday, August 18th. Run on the field here at Kauffman Stadium, plus get a retro t-shirt and a free ticket to a game. Sign up at Royals.com/run, presented by Fox Sports Kansas City and Price Chopper.
August 18th will be in Chicago, right? The White Sox. Oh, get in there.
Off of Kintzler's glove, and it ricochets out into shallow right, and Dozier will hold. Hunter Dozier has 2 hits tonight.
Good for him. Too bad he couldn't get the one with him loaded, but he'll take him when he can. Kintzler's kicking himself, although that had a rough hop to it. It kind of handcuffed him. But Kintzler is a sinker baller, so he's used to getting some comebackers. He's in his 7th year as a big leaguer. 91 to 96 with his sinking fastball, slider, changeup.
Minnesota was mad last year when they traded away Kintzler to the Nationals. Upset that their front office didn't add, but subtracted. And in the front office's defense, they were not playing well going into the trading deadline, but they sure played well after. And Kintzler's a nice story. He was a 40th round pick who was released and then played 3 seasons of independent ball and got back in 2009. Signed out of the Independent Northern League and eventually got to the big leagues, and now he's a guy that teams have looked toward the last 2 seasons for depth in the bullpen.
Yeah, and this is why players in the minor leagues don't give up. They all believe. You have to believe that you're going to be a big leaguer, or it will never happen. Good for him to persevere and get there and make a difference on a championship club.
Herrera, 1 hop to Russell, and Rizzo pulls it out of the dirt, and the Royals send just 3 to the plate in the bottom of the 8th.
That's what he does, sinker baller.
1-1 Chicago to the 9th inning. Jason Hamill will remain on the mound. There's our Pepsi fan of the game.
Oh, gotta have them. More redheads, please. Look at that young lad. Way to go.
Are you only a lad if you have red hair?
It's Irish.
Okay.
Still haven't been there. I'd like to go.
Go kiss the Blarney Stone.
That's right.
Yep. Jason Hamill came on in the 8th inning with 1 on 1 out. He allowed a double to Baez, which scored the Cubs' 3rd run, and then after an intentional walk, he struck out Contreras and Happ and made a good pitch on Russell. Dozier throws him out. Russell's 2 for 4. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. And it is great to be home. As many times as I look at the schedule, it says we were gone for 11 days. It felt much longer than that.
It did.
I keep looking at it and going, wait a minute, there's a day or 4 missing in there. It couldn't have been just 11. It felt like a month. But now the Royals are home for 11. 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Cardinals, 4 against the Blue Jays, and the Royals will also have a day off during the homestand.
Fantastic. Give those guys a break. Let them have a chance to be with their families.
No swing. And no rain so far. The grounds crew is positioned behind the tarp. A 4-pitch walk to Almora. That's Hamill's 2nd walk. His first was an intentional walk. And that'll bring up Anthony Rizzo for the 5th time tonight. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. We may see a milestone hit for Anthony Rizzo in this 3-game series. He is 4 hits shy of 1,000. None so far tonight.
You know, and Joe Maddon's thinking with Rizzo leading off. He was telling me in his office today that I said, well, he loves getting in that batter's box with no blemish in the front. You know, you've heard me say that before. That's kind of a thrill. He goes, no, really? That's just for the first at bat. But I want him later in the game to come up with runners in scoring position at first place. Because these 7, 8, 9 guys, it's why he bats his pitcher 7th, sometimes 8th in the National League rules. Madden does. Because he believes in run production at the top of the order. That's why he's there. And he's got Anthony Rizzo hitting .306, leading off for him. Only Cub hitting better with runners in scoring position is Hayward in the 3rd spot, hitting .317 with a runner in scoring position. So he's not a leadoff hitter because he's fast. It's because he's productive.
Almora was running. Tony La Russa was the first to bat the pitcher 8th in the National League, and it made sense because, you know, if you have a really good top of the order, you know, why would you want your pitcher to precede the top of the order? Right. So he would put a 2nd type leadoff guy to bat 9th, making it a smoother transition. And then when Mark McGwire was hitting all those home runs, that's another reason why he wanted the pitcher to bat 8th, because he wanted McGwire to bat in the 1st inning. So he hit him 3rd. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And so to help him have more guys on base, he batted the pitcher 8th. So then there was you got your number 3 hitter with a chance to have 3 guys, not just 2 guys in front of him that can get on base.
That's right. Thinking outside of the box. We're seeing a lot of that in the modern game today.
2-2. And now it begins to drizzle at Kauffman Stadium. Inside from 0-2 to 3-2, and that's the 2nd time tonight that Rizzo has done that. Ben Zobrist is on deck. Almora runs, and Rizzo hits a line drive to center, caught by Merrifield, and the Royals have a good chance for a double play. And Butera had to come off the bag, and Witt had a little more time than he thought, and if he could do it again, I'll bet he would have tried to set his feet and take his time. What do you think, Hud?
Yep, you know, this ball, he wants to concentrate on the catch. Obviously got it, and he made the transfer. Had a little bit more time, like you said. He could have made a more accurate throw. Butera did what he had to do. Go get the short hop. If he plays and backs off the long hop, he never gets there.
Excellent play in center field, nonetheless.
Sure was. And Drew had one chance to catch it. If he catches it, then he gets it.
And when Witt is not happy, he wears his emotions on both sleeves, and his pants, and his cap. And he's rethinking that play out in center field, but there's nothing he can do about it now. Zobrist has 2 hits and a run scored. And now it's raining harder. And Alex makes a play in left field, looking up into the raindrops. Pedro Strop will pitch the 9th for the Cubs. And the Royals will have Bonifacio, Mondesi, and Escobar. for the Cubs, David Bote, B-O-T-E, is at third base. Javier Baez shifts over to second. And so Zobrist is out. So Bote will hit in the number 2 spot. And Pedro Strop with 7 saves will get the bottom of the 9th inning. And Ned Yost counters with a move. Brett Phillips will bat for Jorge Bonifacio.
Strop started him off with his slider. It's a good one. 85 to 88 miles an hour with that one. 92 to 98 with his heater. Got a little sink to it. He's staying with his slider. Phillips is aggressive. Strop uses a split finger for a retirement pitch if he needs to retire the batter.
I like that. A retirement pitch.
Well, it's kind of what it is.
That's inside the line. And 1 out. The Royals' lone run came with 2 outs in the 2nd inning and gave the Royals the lead. But the Cubs scored 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th, and 1 in the 8th. Still a light rain.
Strop's taking a page from Fernando Rodney with the twist and turn of the hat right there. We just saw Rodney in Minnesota.
1 ball, 1 strike. The best jog in from the bullpen presentation I've ever seen.
I agree with you.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Any way he can get on, that's what he's doing. Now he's got 2 strikes. We've seen him bunt with 2 strikes before.
Let's go Royals competing against Let's Go Cubbies.
Well, the Cub fans are trying to pay the Royals fans back from what they did to them there in their house at 15s. It was beautiful. Strop. Pretty good breaker.
And speaking of, here's Alcides Escobar. We were talking about Esky's leadoff home run in late May of 15, and the crowd went nuts. Wrigley Field was filled with Royals fans. And then there were Let's Go Royals chants later in the game.
Big time. And then but a Royals fan caught it in the bleachers in left field.
Raining harder. And it's 0-2. They're ready to go, and we're not far away from the tarp. So the Cubs avoid another rain delay. A 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th inning for Pedro Strop. And it wasn't a big night on offense for the Cubs, but enough for the win. That guy Baez right there, Javier Baez, drove in 2 more runs to add to his league lead. 88 driven in. Ben Zobrist scored a run on a wild pitch, but Baez had the home run to center field and the RBI double.
And a brilliant play at third base.
Cubs win it 3-1. We'll be right back.